essentially, if done right, the X would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
Wow.
By offering the technology in tokenized bank deposit form. And that's where I think the real action is going to be, Charles. There's 5.7 trillion of demand deposits in the US banking system and only 313 billion of stablecoins outstanding. So the real money, as Willie Horton used to say, he robbed banks because that's where the money is. The real money is in tokenized deposits.
Risk into the system.
Do you expect this is where financial services is going? Are the major banks and the brokers out there today moving increasingly toward tokenization?
Oh, absolutely. And it's the way the world will be, here in the, I mean, maybe not even in 10 years, maybe even a lot less time, maybe a couple of years from now. So
I think, but I've always said, will they be there if we ever needed them? And that's really the ultimate test. And I'm not sure of that. I know that we would have been there, or we would be there, but will they be there? And let's hope that that never happens. We've never needed them. We have never really asked anything of them. You know, they'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan or this or that. And they did. They stayed a little back, a little off the front lines. But we've been very good to Europe and to many other countries. And, now under my administration, that began because we had a very successful first term. That began then, but it has to be a two-way street.
We're going to have tremendous workforce availability. We're also going to have robots helping us. We're going to have a lot of robots helping us because we need it. And because we're going to town, we're building a lot between the AI and the auto plants. So we're going to need robots. We're going to have robots, but that's going to help us.
Robots hold steady hands in the operating room, and drones are redefining the future of war. Innovations of first-generation humanoids, factory automation, and autonomous vehicles have surged from private sector investment. Every one of these advancements is powered by AI. The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction.
Maybe crypto is actually built for the machines and we didn't even know it. And AI can easily handle private keys and easily understands transaction hashes and like how all this stuff works. It is money that is built for computers, even before the computers to intelligently handle it were built. So I find that interesting. And perhaps those of us who were involved in crypto pre-AI were kind of just like getting the ground ready for the AI systems to have a fully developed financial system handed to them, for better or worse.
This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology.
And as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stable coins to do that.
I think stable coins could reinforce dollar supremacy, because with stable coins could end up being one of the largest buyers of U.S. treasuries or T-bills. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, if you are using a stable coin in Nigeria that's backed by the U.S. dollar, you don't actually have to have dollars. It's on your phone. You can transact.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. I've seen estimates that just over the short term, stable coins could create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. treasuries and treasury bills. To put that in context, the number is probably about $300 billion right now. We will take a close look at regulatory impediments to blockchain, stable coins, and new payment systems.
The Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain, because you are the crypto president, and we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution, and then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it.
Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services. It'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. But with today's announcement, we take a major step to bring healthcare into the digital age. Instead of filling out the same tedious paperwork at every medical appointment, patients will simply be able to grant their doctors access to their records at the push of a button. Just a button and you're all set, and all the information the doctor needs will be immediately transmitted.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
If we could tokenize all our ETFs, all $5.3 trillion of our ETFs, and provide that in a digital wallet, you could seamlessly, without fees, going from a digital currency or a stable coin or whatever that may be in your digital wallet and buy bond or stocks. And I believe that is going to be the future.
I believe we're going to be in the cutting edge of tokenizing bonds and stocks.
It's coming.
And we have the technology now. The fact that we are now moving forward in tokenization every bond and stock is crazy. Yeah. We should be moving towards that frontier. Obviously, there's winners and losers and all that, but we need to be prepared for the tokenization. And it would democratize more finance if we tokenized bonds and stocks.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the NWO book and the Crypto Teacher book. The NWO book shows you how the world really works, and especially in the times that we're in right now, it's definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep. And I give you the truth, nothing but the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. But because I give you the truth, you hate me. But remember, I'm just a watchman on the wall. And in 2026, it will be the beginning of global mass layoffs and the rise of the machines. Remember, 2026 to 2029, we are going to be on a wild ride. And we have the sheep sleep. They stay distracted on things that don't matter. My people perish from the lack of knowledge because they reject it. And that's because they're willfully ignorant. But they don't have long until reality is going to hit them in the face. And in 2026, we get crypto clarity before the midterms. And starting in 2027, the Hegelian dialectic is back to divide and conquer, Democrat versus Republican. And they're going to ride it into the fourth industrial revolution. And since we have the genius bill, universal basic income is right around the corner, 2028, 2029. But we got China paying interest on their CBDC while the United States has no interest. And remember, that's a plan that moves in phases. And in the first quarter, I always tell you, we're going to get a pullback, but this year, because Japan is on the move, I see a pullback in the first and second quarter. And that's the reason why we got two repo operations. We got the Fed buying treasuries, the front end $40 billion worth until April, plus the Treasury manipulating that long end of the yield curve because no one, and I mean absolutely no one, wants that long-term paper. And yes, finances is boring, but when you understand what's going on, it's the most entertaining thing in the world because it's unbelievable how the sheep fall for it. And that's the reason why they don't teach finances in school. Now we have the Supreme Court is going to let us know the decision on these tariffs. Either way is going to be bad, but one is long-term, one is short-term. If they have to pay the money back, of course, that's short-term. But if tariffs stay on, that's going to be long-term inflation. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And since the Fed is cutting and Japan is raising, we have $8 trillion sitting in these money market accounts, and that money is going to leave and find yield. And in 2027, that's going to trigger a collapse of this legacy market, and Democrats are going to play the blame game on Republicans. And by that time, of course, we'll have Jerome Powell with a rolled off in the sun. They printed 80% of all money in existence in 2 years, destroying the dollar, creating all this inflation, and then also destroying the legacy market, so therefore they can bring in the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And they did all this under Trump and Jerome Powell. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And in order to bring in the machines, of course, they need that black swan, that crisis. And that's the reason why we're hearing the drums get louder. We hear the hacks being done by AI, and of course, you got to watch out for the Birdman. So we're going to see distractions being stepped up, movie after movie, while they move in the machines. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 kids' books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now we have Bitcoin and crypto moving up. Volume is really not there. We know if volume doesn't pick up, we're just going to be pulling back. Don't forget we have CME that opens tonight. We know it's going to move the market. And then once yield rates get to moving in the morning, it's going to move the market again. And of course, guys, we have the drums are beating. Today is Sunday. So we know we're going to be getting some important news to move the markets. It never fails. And then, of course, we have Jerome in the house this week. And, of course, I'm going to go over that later. Now, guys, make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. We had yield rates pull back on Friday. Long end still went up, even though we see all the manipulation that's going on. We had the dollar make a comeback due to oil prices. We have volume in crypto right now down. We have Tether and USDC. And then, of course, we have the Fed. Repo a little over 400 million. Make sure you're pulling it on a daily basis during the week. We know they're doing 2 repos every now and then. We have the Fed buying the front end of these treasuries. Remember, $40 billion worth a month until April. And then we know Jerome Powell rides off in the sun. And then we know the Treasury is manipulating that long end because we know no one, and I mean absolutely no one, wants that long-term paper. And that's the reason why they're buying billions and billions of their own debt. And also we know Japan eventually has to make those moves. And then we know the Fed wants to keep rates higher for longer to destroy this legacy market so Trump can build this fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And we have Jerome Powell back in the building. And not one sheep is going to pay attention. Not with all these distractions that we have going on. Not one sheep is going to pay attention. Jerome Powell is going to be able to walk in and walk out with no one noticing. And guys, we know that is called the magicians. You're so distracted, you're looking one way and the money is running in the back door. And if you have a playbook that never fails, guess what? You keep running it. And the Fed most likely is going to pause, even though we have the oil issue, labor market weak, but we see this inflation still sticky and it's going to start moving up due to these oil prices. And just like I told you, they're going to ride these drums of beating inside the fourth industrial revolution. Look how long we see Russia and Ukraine still at it, and we get no news. It's a blackout on the drums are beating now. As we can see, with all this technology, we should be getting information by the second. But guess what? We're getting nothing. And that means they're running Operation Northwood. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Now we have the Bitcoin Ethereum spot ETFs, BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. Bitcoin Ethereum spot ETFs were up at close on Friday. So was XRP, Solana, Chainlink, and Dogecoin. And we had Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana with net inflows on Friday. XRP had 0 inflows. Now, getting over into a little crypto news, we had Michael Saylor send out those orange dots again. And we know that means he's buying, and he can keep buying because he have these big banks and big fund managers behind him. But we know it's not going to end well. But the big banks are using Michael Saylor and strategy to push the narrative to get this fourth industrial revolution up and running. And we have Ethereum Foundation sells 5,000 ETH to Bitmine as Tom Lee buys big again. So we see Tom Lee, the spokesperson on Ethereum, and Michael Saylor, the spokesperson on Bitcoin. And we know Tom Lee used to be the spokesperson on Bitcoin. And we had Tom Lee telling us that March is going to be the bottom. But we know we do not look at predictions. We just watch the Fed. And with all these geopolitical events, we know we haven't hit a bottom just yet. But Scott Bessent did let us know that in the second quarter of this year, these corporations are going to start turning on the machines, which we know is going to increase productivity and is going to allow them to start laying off. So these corporations are not going to get hurt. That's the reason why their stocks are going to be able to maintain. And then on top of it, once they get running and start taking over this economy, then of course you're going to see cheaper goods. Remember, guys, this is a plan. It moves in phases, and people are going to cheer on their own demise. We've seen the movie before. We saw what happened with Walmart. Everybody was going inside of Walmart, and all these mom and pops were falling by the wayside. Now everybody wish a mom and pop was around, because now these big corporations can charge whatever they want to. And we saw that during the C word. Inflation went up 40, 50, 60% from 2019 to now. If we had the mom and pops, they could have kept their pricing. You can't keep falling for the devil's tricks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then we have Elon Musk, and we have Atkins speaking about the new economy. And we know trillions are about to get on blockchain and be tokenized. Everything is going to be tokenized and put on blockchain because they don't want anything physical. They want it all digital, nothing real, and eventually including your food. And that's the reason why knowledge is the key. That's the only way you're going to survive the beast system. And again, my people perish from the lack of knowledge because they reject it. Not because it's not there, because they reject it. And during these times, we have all the information in the world. You think you would have the smartest people in the world, but instead you got the dumbest. Remember what Anthony Sutton said back in the 80s. All these educated people are cheering for their own demise. And we're living during biblical times, where we're seeing a whole lot of deception. And that's the reason why I tell you, get back to the creator so therefore you can start creating. And also, you don't fall for the devil's tricks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows, when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books. Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.